Kia ora. Welcome to another Q&A event with Munya. I'll be hosting you today, standing in for Anna Marie, who's feeling unwell. A little bit about these Q&As. They run Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. You can interact with us through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. You can ask some questions through there. You can also check the full schedule of the sessions or events that we have on our website, digitalboost.co.nz, and you can also find past events that we've done in there as well. Feel free to reach out to us via support@digitalboost.co.nz if you've got any questions. Today we have Jam Mayer from Conversologist here to talk to us about personalized customer experience automation. Please introduce to us and tell us what you do.
Thanks, Munya, for having me. And thanks everyone who's in the room and those who are, I think I was told this is also streaming live on Facebook and or LinkedIn, or to those who's actually watching this recording after the fact, right? So my name is Jam Mayer. I'm Chief Conversologist for Conversology, but I consider myself more of a digital marketing analyst, trainer, and a strategist. So I've been working in the digital space for about 2 decades already. So, and I started my journey as a blogger, believe it or not, when WordPress wasn't even WordPress, and social media organic was awesome because there's no such thing as paid ads. You don't have to pay for anything and so on. Anyway, so fast forward to today, what I really do is guide business owners and marketing professionals, mostly marketing managers, in their journey in the digital space and make sure they're actually using it effectively and for the long-term gain. So that's it, Munya. That's me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure if you've got any presentation that you might want to share with us and show some of our users or business owners.
Yep, I will try to share my screen here, and do let me know if you see it.
Yes, we can see that very well.
Fantastic. Okay, so I guess we should start.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's get started.
Thanks, Munya. Okay. All right. So today we are going to talk about what it means to personalize your customer's digital experience. Okay. I'm sure you've heard of the funnel. If you're a marketer right now watching this, I'm sure it's yeah, Jeff, I know what that is. I've heard it everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And we know this is more like the sales funnel. So this is about getting more leads, the more the better on top. And then obviously just bring them down onto the funnel. And at the end, obviously, is basically sales. We already know that. Now, there's a problem with that. And I'll be, this isn't, my opinion is kind of unpopular, but I think it is needed to be said, but I'm actually allergic to the word funnel. So I don't know, Munya, if you agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter. The reason that I don't like the word funnel is because it's very transactional, because it's a straight line. It's basically being used aggressively now in the marketing space. You've heard it from other digital marketing gurus and so on. They're going, go through the funnel, stage after stage, straight line, go down, move, move, move. And can you imagine, if you would imagine yourself, picture that, you're actually pushing your customers and prospect down the funnel or in a linear form and going, great, you're aware of the brand. Come on now, let's go. Here's the information. Okay, hang on, here you go. So it's just, and this is the reason why people, and a lot of my clients, they go, I don't understand, Jam. Why is it that I've already given them the newsletter, I've given them this, I've given them a brochure, I've put them in a form, they're still unsubscribing. they're still not interested, they're still not buying, and they think digital marketing sucks, and then they go, nah, I'm just going to go back to print ads or so on. Not to say that they don't work, I'm just saying that a lot of people are just frustrated because they don't know exactly what's working, right? This is the reason why we lose a lot of leads, and that's why digital marketers, some of them, I'm not saying all, would say, give me 10 grand so I can give you this much impressions, the more the better, and 2 million impressions. And then at the end, you only get like 500 bucks.
Yeah.
Right. So, and lastly, this is the reason why there's a lot of clickbaits, right? There's the tactics, the short term, etc., and just go buy. Now, the journey, I'm sure some of you have also heard about the journey. If not, it's all about the stages, right? The journey is actually, yes, it could be a straight line, but in reality, it's actually squiggly lines or it's messy. So Munya, I mean, I wanted this to be a little interactive. I mean,
Yes, absolutely.
when was the last time you actually bought something digitally? It doesn't have to be, don't have to think about it too much, but.
Yeah, that's a good question. What? Geez, I think that would be a year or 2 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
And was
Yeah.
it a product or a service, or was it
It
software?
was a product. It was a product. Yeah, that was, yeah, I think a year ago. So, and yeah, it was, my birthday. So I thought I wanted to buy something a little bit special for myself. So yeah. Yeah. So.
And just to ask you, and also I'll turn on the chat a little bit later. But I'd love the audience who's in the Zoom room right now is just think of the last time, it could be just this morning or yesterday or a year ago, like Munya, is what was your journey like until you got to actually buy whatever that is online? Or going to a restaurant. So it doesn't have to be something that's online, but you actually had to go through digital in order to reach the end, so to speak. Okay. Just think about it. Because the thing is, at every stage of the journey, it's not like you go, I'm aware of the brand, I'm going to get information, and then this, and then it goes linear. The reality is, some would go, I'm aware of your brand, then they go jump to buying. Yeah. Some would say, I'm not so sure, I'll just research again and then come back to you. And then maybe I'll go to another channel and so on and so forth. So this, it's reality, it's this, right? Yeah. It's not a straight line. So I don't understand why people or marketers are usually strategizing, putting their tactics and plans into one straight funnel. I'll pause for effect. I'll let you think about that. Yeah. So anywho, so this is sort of our edited framework that we use with our clients, small or big, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So they're different stages. There's so many terms for it. Don't worry about the wording, but it's basically really going through awareness. So a prospect actually finds out that you exist or your business exists. And then affinity is more like, if you're on social, it's when people start liking your posts, but they don't necessarily really like the brand, or it doesn't mean that they want to buy from you, right? And then consumption is more now consuming all the content that you've got, whether it be on your website, you give them more information, or it could also be through ads and so on and so forth. It could be a webinar like this, right? And how they actually react, and then obviously when they convert, and then how you retain them, and it goes back to the circle. And the conversation is really in the middle, because in all of those touch points or stages, there will be some kind of conversation, and there should be, because the way we do things as a human being is really just, you research, you ask a question, you expect an answer, whether it's automated like a chatbot or not, or a human being. But that's when the relationships start to build, right? You've heard it before. Everyone says, yeah, everybody says that. build a relationship. But marketers and business owners just don't kind of understand or grasp the idea on how I can or they can actually do that on a digital perspective. I hope I'm making sense here. What do you think, Munya?
No, absolutely. I get your point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So you can screenshot this, no problem, if this is helpful for you.
Yeah. Can you also share with your presentation, just in case if we've got anyone that wants to look at it at some stage?
Of course.
Yeah. Right.
I'll send it to you through you guys in Digital Boost, and you, yeah. I don't know how you share it to, I think this is going to be on the platform anyway. I'm not so sure, but I'll share it to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Definitely.
That'll be great. Thank you.
Yeah. So my question to you now is, what if you could provide a unique experience for every prospect and for every customer digitally? And I'm not talking about saving time because you have to automate. I'm not talking about just saying, hi, name. I'm sure you've seen this. Because some clients, especially those that are starting in digital, and they go, well, I've personalized my email. I have, hi, that's automated. I just have to put this field there and name, and yay, it's personalized. No, it's not. That's super, super basic. So in order to create that personalized customer experience, and if you notice that I'm not even saying marketing, because marketing or customer experience and the life cycle is actually part of marketing, believe it or not. It's not just acquisition. So in order to get there, right, is one aspect is personalizing and automating it a little bit, not the whole thing, because I personally, yes, I'm a fan of automation and all that, and giving ourselves back the time so we can focus on our business. But I don't believe that it should be 100%, because there should be a human being in between in that journey, right? Okay, so I'm going to go through just the possibilities. There's heaps of it in an hour. I'm looking at the time now. I don't think an hour or 40 minutes will just cut it, right? Okay, so here are just a few things that you can think of. I will try to give some examples so that it kind of makes sense in your head, and don't pay attention too much on the words that you see in front of you. It's more on the example. So, okay, when you're trying to plan your customer's journey, I'll call digital journey, right, to make it more personalized, timing and behavior is one thing that you need to look at. This means finding the right time in terms of delay. Yes, 101 would be, I will send this email in 2 days or after an hour and so on. Yes, that's part of it. But I want you to look at it in a, like a higher level, so to speak, or the next step. It's basically looking at the perfect moment for them. Okay. For example, what we've done for a mortgage broker is that in order to personalize experience for their current clients, is that we created a workflow and automation in terms of timing is an anniversary on when they they bought their first home. That is such a huge how do you say this? It's such a huge moment in someone's life is buying your first home, right? So because it's emotional, that's actually a memory in their head. So it's not just looking at it because it's an anniversary, but you're actually looking at it in the terms of timing and reminding them and sending them a very simple email, for example, and saying, hey, Munya, do you remember last year, today, 4th of August, last year during COVID and all that, even with the hustle and bustle, et cetera, and what's going on and panic and whatsoever and change of times, you actually have the chance to buy your first home. How are you doing it? How's the home doing?
It's funny that you say that, Jem, because we bought a new car a year ago, and the company that we bought it from sent us an email, a letter. It was a week ago saying, hey, happy anniversary. you bought this car a year ago. How's everything going? And they said, look, after you've used the car for a while, then you in some cases, or in most cases, those customers require some extra things. So here's what we offer. And we were actually looking at getting a tow bar, a roof rack, but buying it from another company. But this company was saying, hey, look, if you come to us, we can give you a good deal. So we're just going to go with them at the end of the day. So it was good to get that that letter from them. And so, yeah, that's it definitely works.
It does. And I'm going to jump a little bit to number 3, which is customizing content, just with the car thing, or even the first home. Is it's not just a generic email or message, is you can basically personalize based on the data that you've got, obviously, from your client, saying what exact car that you bought, put it in there. Yes, the date definitely is in there as well, and so on and so forth. So now you're personalizing, and now you feel special, and you wouldn't even think that it's actually automated. It is very personalized, and it triggers an emotion. So that's the whole point. Yep. So what we did for the mortgage broker is that in the email, again, it's not the date, is what we did is we placed the address of the home. Or even some would even just have, hey, did you know that we saved you X amount in terms of your mortgage, yada, 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 etc. So it's something. And then, yes, you're right. That's exactly what happens. So thank you for that. That's awesome. I love this, that I'm not the only one talking. Thanks. And please check, Munya, if anyone's commenting right now, because I don't see the chat, but please do.
Yep, absolutely. I'll let you know.
Awesome. Now, for behavior, it's basically the same, but instead of finding out the right moment, it's really finding out what they've been doing. So another automation that we did for another client is basically just to find, their goal is they want to make sure that they're sending the right content based on the interest level, right? Or based on what they're reading on the website. So they've got heaps of content on their website, but it's categorized into 3 to 4 things, right? So I said, Jam, I want to make sure that it's personalized. I don't want to send them a newsletter or an email or any message for that matter in any of the channels saying, hey, please check this next blog post, for example, because it's relevant, right? So we now created, well, we call it either scoring, and depending on how engaged and how many blog posts they've been reading and what type of content, actually, what those blog posts are, then based on the behavior, meaning clicking on it and when they go to the website, we've found some data that actually showed, oh my God, Munya has been on our blog post about this new Tesla, for example, 5 times. And why is it that, Anna, for example, has been going through our page around, say, I don't know, this new iPhone, and she's always looking at the red one, just for conversation sake. So because of that data, and based on their behavior as well, then we can then customize and personalize the messaging. So I hope that makes sense. Second is routing to the right sequence. And again, this looks like the funnel, but it's more going back to the circle, is based on the timing and the behavior and what they've been doing, is now you create an automation that would make sense to them, because you wouldn't want to send current clients. And I really would love, if this was live, I would really love to actually see the hands raised. And I'm looking at you, Munya, because I can see you. Is how many times?
So we do have a question. So I'm just thinking that we do have a question, but I'll ask you probably when at the end of the your appraisal, if it's okay.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. And I don't mind you cutting in between as well while it's fresh. Okay. because at least it's fresh in my brain as well. So so routing to the right sequence, I kind of lost my train of thought, do you remember? But I guess it's more of making sure that everything, as I said, makes sense or made sense to the automation of where you're actually bringing them, right? Okay, now I remember. So how many of you out there, looking at you, Munya, that have seen, let's say, Facebook ads of a product or a service, but you've actually bought from them already? It's like, hide ad because I've already bought from you, so why are you still selling to me? And that annoys the hell out of people. It's just, and the retention goes down, right? Anyway, that's just one of the biggest examples that I've noticed as well. Yeah. Sorry, did you have a question, or does anyone have a question before I move on to the third one?
Yes, so there's Sue. She's asking, do you have any recommendations for gyms? Every time I send out communication, it's like a reminder that people haven't been visiting and they want to cancel, even if it's having a positive message or promo.
So, because I don't know exactly what's going on, so sorry, it's a quite generic answer, but one of the things that might help is, instead of just relying on them just visiting your gym at certain points and promoting, for example, hey, we've got a spin class and so on and so forth, is to personalize that, is to start asking your members and have that human contact, maybe, or even a survey, and get some data that they're willing to share with you, obviously with permission, right? So for example, if there's a way to know that when you send emails and stuff, and these people are actually clicking on the schedules of your spin class and whatsoever, or let's say they're usually looking at the time when your gym is open at a certain time, right? So that gives you an indication now that these group of people, and that's number 4, is this group of people are actually interested in going to your gym at certain hours of the day, and they're interested in a spin class. If you've got the data, then that means instead of just generically telling them, hey, come back because your health is great, every gym says that, be healthy, go to a gym and stuff. What is your point of difference? Your point of difference is actually knowing why they actually go to your gym. Hey, look, you come in the mornings. We've moved our spin class more in the mornings just for you. So now they feel like it's really special, but you'll find out there's about 3 or 5 or even 10 people who are interested in going to your gym in the morning and attending that spin class. I hope that makes sense. It's just one of, yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Cool. Should I continue, Munya, or is there another question?
I'll let you know if there's another one that comes through.
Cool, no problem. And Sue, hopefully that kind of gives you, just sort of triggers a generic idea of how you can personalize it. So customizing content is basically what I said earlier, is instead of just sending generic emails, is just customizing it. And I'll show you later during the walkthrough that you can do some conditional content on emails. So the tendency is that, let's say, I'm just thinking of just one of our clients as well. So they're a health clinic, and what happens is that they send out reminders as well for 1 to 2 to 3 years, those who've done or have had an appointment. And based on the health data, not all of it obviously, is then we've customized it to a point wherein we only send one newsletter. So there's the generic type of information, but there are blocks or sections that are conditional. What that means is that it will only show up if it is within the criteria or the parameters that we've set. So again, it's personalizing it, right? let's see, interest, I've already mentioned that, and based on behavior as well. So again, instead of sending generic newsletters, then you're tweaking it a little bit. And lastly is the contact segmentation. What that means is when you've got 100, 1,000, or 10,000 people in your database, you will then have to group them together. And I'm not just talking about the first level would be, let's say, going back to mortgage or to car buyers. It's like, okay, here's the Munyas of the world who buys X car with colors and so on. And he loves putting the, what do you call those things? Bull bars or whatever, bike racks.
Roof racks.
Roof racks, yes, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So it's basically that, is you try to segment them as much as possible, because the more you put them in little boxes or little cohorts kind of, then the more personalized it is. Then what's going to happen is they will feel that they're actually a human being. And I will guarantee they will go back to you, and you don't even have to sell to them. Cool. Okay, so we've got some time. And this is the reason why I've actually chosen ActiveCampaign. And this is the tool that we use. And yes, we're a partner. I've used several marketing automation tools, believe it or not, Infusionsoft, HubSpot, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is ActiveCampaign for everyone? No, it really depends. There are other funnel automation tools that you can use there, but this is what I choose, only because, again, I know that they built their tool, their digital tool, around the customer experience. As soon as I found that out and looked through it and evaluated their tool, I said, I'm sold, because this is the ethos, at least for us here in Conversology, right? And that's my ethos. It's all about the customer experience within the marketing perspective. So if you look at it, it's also a circle, right? So it's the same stages, it's just that they call it differently. Awareness and affinities basically reach and engage, and then you nurture and educate them to get more information. Then you try to convert and close and support and growth. And then they've got within the tool in the middle is where orchestration is basically just saying, we're not going to force you to go to our tool and use everything else. If you're using Facebook and Shopify and all these other tools, then integrate them into our tool. Don't change it. Just orchestrate. Just like an orchestra, right? You could like, okay, flute, blah, and here we are. We're the conductor. So we're not forcing you basically to just let go of the other tools and just go, this is all you're going to need, right? A segment is, I've already mentioned that already, group them as individuals and not just by groups. And you can use this through data and custom fields. The automation is exciting, and this is constantly evolving. And there is this thing called predictive sending. Drum roll. What do you think that is, Munya? What is predictive sending?
Ooh, I don't want to embarrass myself, so I'll let you talk.
Right. Predictive sending is basically, ActiveCampaign has the ability through AI. We've heard about AI. Wherein it will, so let's say you have a campaign and you send it out and you personalize it, great. And instead of just sending the whole 1,000, the newsletter to 1,000 people at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday, because that's what data has given you or shown you that works in terms of higher open rates and so on, and engagement. Predictive sending is based on the behavior of the 1,000 people. It will actually choose to send it at, Munya opens his emails actually at 12 midnight. So I'm going to send that at 12 midnight on a Friday instead of a Thursday morning. Jam actually opens her emails at 8 p.m. instead of 9 o'clock in the morning. So instead of you trying to figure out, oh my God, when am I going to send this and hope that it works or not, then obviously it's AI, so it has to learn first based on when people open, so it's personalized. So that's I'm excited about that, and it's already working for
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
It is pretty cool. So ergo, of course, personalizing, which is you personalize stuff. And I've mentioned this already. So this is sort of what I'll do is I'll switch out from my presentation. Hopefully I do this correctly and I don't share anything else. I will move to a demo account, which is, I mean, obviously, because I cannot share my clients' accounts. There's a lot of private data in there. But while I do this, Munya, let me know if there are any other questions while I try to switch things over. How do I? Are there any questions? None?
So no, not just the one. And Susan, Sue, say thank you to your answer. One that you answered before.
Yeah. No worries. Okay, I think I am sharing the right one. Please say yes.
Yep, I can see automations, 7-day drip series.
Okay, awesome. So if you are either I'm just gonna move the Zoom stuff here. So either you're an ActiveCampaign user or not, most of you might be on MailChimp and stuff, and that's fine. But if you're ready to go on to the next level, so to speak, and just personalize stuff, then one of the things I wanted to just show you is the automation side of ActiveCampaign. So this is obviously a demo account. It's a new account. And what's great about it is that it has recipes. Recipes mean is depending on what you need and what your objectives are, then you can just click on this and show recommendations. And this is just some of the stuff that you can start with. So if I were to create an automation here, so it gives you ideas already. So Sue, you were asking my recommendations. Again, you know your business better than I do. So you would basically really know what makes sense for your customers, right? So from there, you can go through the automation and look through the recipes, and we'll give you some ideas where to start. Hope that makes sense. So I usually start from scratch, but there are so many recipes here. It is dependent on industry. Let's see if there's any fitness and nutrition. Well, there you go. Let's go. There's the fitness weekly workout cycle, which means you send your contacts a weekly workout at the beginning of the week. Oh, wow. Okay. So if you know that information, there's a tier system. There's SMS reminder as well. Remember I said earlier, information request, if they're willing to share that with you and so on. Gym location segment is just basically an automation to make sure no Munya is from, if you've got several gym locations, for example, right? So Munya is from the CBD, Jam is in Hamilton, so on and so forth, or based on the location they actually select, and so on and so forth. So if I were to, target weight achieved, this is interesting. I've never seen this before. So the recipes is a good start because from here, and I haven't really done this one yet, so hopefully my computer and the internet's going to be fast enough.
Nora, Sue has asked, what program is this and how much does it cost? Sue is currently using Hubspot.
Hubspot, yes. So so my question, Sue, when you say Hubspot, are you paying for Hubspot? Because I know Hubspot has some free, what do you call this? They call them hubs. Yeah, the basic ones and stuff. So he's using the free. So this is ActiveCampaign. They're actually an alternative software. I've got a few clients that came from Hubspot that went to ActiveCampaign, or they came from MailChimp, they went to ActiveCampaign. So it really depends on what makes sense for your business, right? Don't get me wrong. I used to be in HubSpot and I went to Chicago and for HubSpot. HubSpot is a very powerful tool, excuse me. And it makes sense for some businesses. So it depends on where you're at. Yeah. So I don't want to say, but it's ActiveCampaign. And how much it is, There's a pricing, you can Google, there's the pricing on ActiveCampaign's website. It will give you everything in there. And if you have any questions, I'll show you my email later at the end of the presentation, and we can definitely talk. So what happens here is that because it's a recipe, it's already set up for you, but that doesn't mean that you can't add to it. And when you go to get started, it just kind of tells you, okay, select your pipeline, select the stage, to what, so on and so forth. And it just goes through the steps. And then all you have to do really is to just customize your content. So we're not going to do that today, obviously, but we'll just cancel that.
Yes.
Yep.
So Sue has come back, and she's currently using the free version of Hubspot because she has no idea how to, I guess, use the features when she goes for the paid one, if she does that. And she's also said, hey, I use quite a few paid programs for the gym already for memberships and registering users, but they aren't so useful for marketing. So I guess it'll be good to hear or know some of the programs that she's using. Then maybe might be able to say, help her with, help Sue with, is it, I'm just going to ask Sue if, because you're going to provide your contact details at the end of the session, right? Cool.
Yes,
so
I will.
Sue can reach out to you, right? Awesome.
Definitely. Yep, definitely here to help. Yeah, no, and just to your point, Sue, it's we've got a health clinic who uses a local medical software and stuff, but they're using in terms of marketing. So we're still in the process of trying to integrate them so they can talk to each other so that it syncs back to ActiveCampaign. The goal is eventually you're still using that gym membership or that software. So we don't want you to change it as much as possible because you're used to it. Unless, as you said, it doesn't work for you anymore, then we move somewhere else. But just in case you really need that and you can't change it, then we just have to orchestrate and integrate that into ActiveCampaign. And then the ActiveCampaign will be your sales and marketing and service tool, if that makes any sense. So I'm not going to go through each of these automations, but it's actually great to see all these recipes. And it's also, in terms of efficiently using this, it's very easy to see all these icons. If I had some automations going on, I would actually know how many contacts are in the automation without even opening up the automation, how many emails are in there, and there are even goals here. So that's another way of doing things. But let me see. One favorite automation, by the way, that a lot of my clients absolutely just really love is it's not here, but it's the Facebook audience automation. What it simply does is you actually, and I think it's here, I thought I opened it up, but there you go, is if you do some Facebook ads, by the way, and if you're a marketer, if you're familiar with creating custom audiences, so you know that you've got a database, your email address, and then you put it onto an audience so that when you run the ad, you're only showing the ads to those group of people. So what's great about ActiveCampaign is there's this automation wherein, for example, someone subscribes to your list, let's say your gym clients, right? And you know they're your clients. So it automatically then adds them to a custom audience within Facebook ads. So you don't have to manually do that, so you've cut the time. So what that means is every time it does it, so it's just filling up that audience bucket on Facebook. And when you're ready to have, let's say, your promotions or whatever messaging you'd like to reach them through Facebook, you don't have to worry about it because they're already in there. And all you have to do is just add the campaign, set up the campaign on Facebook, and then just say, well, please show this ad to my subscribers or my current clients. Hope that kind of makes sense. And the contact subscribers is just one of them. The trigger, which is on top, can be anything. It could be, again, those who buy cars, red, so on and so forth, and location. Questions so far? Okay, we've got around 20 minutes, Munya, or less probably.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Cool. Okay, so remember I talked about conditional content personalized, and this is exactly how it looks like. So there's this simple editor, email editor, and so on. So instead of sending 3 to 5 campaigns or 3 to 5 emails to different sections, or sorry, different groups, excuse me, because some would say, wait, hang on, Jam, but I want to say kind of the same thing, but I want it to be different. I don't want to show this section, for example, to clients because it doesn't make sense. And then this section should show this type of products, for example, or services to my prospects. So what's happening is they're not bombarded with so many emails. They're just given one. So here, I don't know if you can see that. If I hover on to this section, it says, will show if tag conditional content exists. So that means if you're not a client, then you won't see this section. So let's manage the conditions here so you kind of look. So all you have to do is create that block. And then in this case, this is obviously the, and see, there's just a lot of other choices that you can do in terms of conditions. It's very flexible, but the easiest is if there's a tag that says, well, in this case, conditional content or whatever it may be, please show that piece of content. And that's as simple as that. And I've worked with complex conditions before with like, what if it's tag, and what if the not phone numbers, but when they subscribe, what the address and location is such and such, then this is the only time you show the content. So that's how it works, right?
Okay.
Cool. Another thing is contact scoring. And this is great when you're trying to filter your prospects or your leads on a marketing perspective. Let's see, let's go to contacts. Scoring is just putting in, I'll try to simplify it. It's basically, and I don't like the word scoring because it sounds very technical, right? Is that you're scoring. But it's basically just saying, here are the rules. So hey, when people engage in my emails, can you add 1 point? If they go to this website, to my page, then add five points. So what you're doing is you're basically just helping to personalize and make sure that Munya, who's part of the database, or Sue is part of the database, has a score of such, because that means, for example, they're very engaged. So it makes sense to kind of say, hey, Sue, you've been looking at stuff and you've asked us questions and it seems that you're interested, and so on. Not in those words, but whatever. Does it make sense for us to have a chat about X, right? So you're still asking if it's okay and etc. But at least it gives you data. It gives you that scoring. So here's the, I don't know what's going to happen if yep, okay. So the lead score rules is basically just, let's add a score, for example, and you choose if it's a contact score, if a deal score. A deal score is for B2B. So we've got marketers or business owners in the room or watching this recording. Deal scores is when you've got corporate accounts, for example, it's more B2B, right? Then if you're a salesperson and so on, you kind of put a score in it to see whether it makes sense to actually talk to them or not, or just leave them be because they're not really interested in moving forward, right? Right timing. Make sense? And then let's say it's contact score. I've got about 15 minutes or so. And we just have to just add a new rule. And this just runs once. And again, it's the same thing. So actions could be, for example, they've clicked a link on one of your campaigns. let's say, congrats on reaching your goal. I was just making all these things up. And they click on any link, or if there are certain links in that email, let's pretend there is, then, hey, I want to put a score of 1. So in terms of engagement, you'll know you're not just relying on open rates per se, is how many people of those who've opened your email, for example, have actually clicked on any of your links, and what are those links? And you decide if it's 1 point, 5 points, and the more points you've got, then the more important it is for them and for your business. Okay. I hope I'm making sense, and please let me know if I'm talking nerdy.
No, you are. And is this a manual process to score, give them those scores? Is that a manual process?
This is a manual process. I mean, when you set it up, you do it once.
Okay.
That's part 1. And then you can actually move the scores up or down through an automation. And that's where everything is done automatically. Yeah, cool. And lastly, in terms of, I think I've opened it, hopefully I have, is web personalization. What this means is that, and I don't have a page, but, and I think this demo account doesn't have it, probably might not work. What this means is, if you've got a page on the website, so let's now go back to Sue again, because you've been and thank you for participating, is let's say you've got a page on your site, and I'll think about something, and Munya, help me out here. I don't know, let's say the gym, again, let's go back to the spin class. And instead of having 5 pages that would say, hey, Jam, our schedule for a spin class is X, book now, or join us, visit the gym. So what happens is you've got 1 page, right? And instead of having just the spin class, it now then personalizes it. So it starts from the email. Jam clicks on a link there that says, ooh, I want to know about the spin class. And when they click on it, it goes to the page, and then I see, great, this is a spin class schedule, book now. Munya, however, is interested in yoga. So when he clicks on that link on the email, nope, I want yoga, he goes or is redirected to the page, same page, but the only difference is it's the same as conditional content. What appears on that page is actually yoga. So, because I've had clients where it's like, oh my God, that means I have to create 5 pages and stuff. You might have to for SEO purposes. Now that's fine. But if you want to make it personalized, at least you don't, yeah. So this is why it says show each visitor the content that's right for them. And you can set them up, etc., and conditions again. And then you can personalize the website. And I know this is it says partner Chicago because it's based in the US, but the whole point is exactly that. You change it to spin class, to yoga, to whatever. And then obviously the message is the right time. So this is awesome. I also love this. This is one of my favorites. Top of the list with predictive sending. So yeah, so that's basically the walkthrough. Obviously there's more to it than that, but I think we've got about 10 minutes or so just for other questions. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. I hope this is very valuable, or at least my whole goal is to just get your brain working and just have those ideas going. So yeah, cool.
Absolutely, it's been great, Jam, and I've also learned quite a lot, and also my mind right now is starting to work. I'm like, geez, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use try some of the features that you've talked about. Sui has also come back and said, hey, this sounds amazing. Do I need a lot of technical experience, or do I need to be a web designer to do this, or is it all easy to manage yourself? She uses Squarespace at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So the web personalization is dependent on your website. So you kind of set up on the technical side on which page you'd like to personalize and so on. There's a little bit of tech stuff that goes on the back end. That's where, ActiveCampaign comes in, or, where we can come in to help. And then once that's done, then all done. You just have to sit back and see the results. I'm just going to share my last screen while we do through the questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Is there anyone else with a question?
Yeah. So Munya, just to check, you are seeing my thank you page, right? Or
yes.
are you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Cool. It's quite a. How did you come up with the name? How did you come up with? I'm just waiting to see if there's anyone who asks a question, or how did you come up with the name of the company?
Conversology.
Yes.
The Conversology is basically, with a Y, is basically the art and science of conversations.
Yeah.
So I just added the IE to have a little bit of a French. There's another story to it, but yeah, no. Because my experience is not just in digital, but I also had not just marketing, but also the contact center, customer service side of things. That's why it's end to end. And my ethos, my personal ethos, the reason I do what I do is because I want to make sure that I want to bring back the human side connection, so to speak, to digital, instead of it being too technical. So awesome. Yeah, art and science of conversation.
Thank you very much. It does appear there's no questions. Clear presentation. Good to know all of this is available for future point. So that's Mike, from Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Cool. All right. So what I'll do is that if anyone comes to us, so if any of the audience, if you've got any questions, if you need anything extra, either reach out to Jam directly, or you can reach out to us at support@digitalboost.co.nz, and then we'll take it from there.
Before we go, Munya, hope you don't mind, but if you are a Digital Boost member, because I know Anamari and the rest of the team back there has mentioned if we could offer something, we would love to meet up with you for an hour and help you do the customer journey session. Or if you are really looking at moving to ActiveCampaign, or if you've got actually ActiveCampaign right now and you just need some help, lovely to meet you and know more about your business and help you. So again, just go through that page. It has a form, or just email me straight. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jem, and thank you very much to the audience. Hopefully you found this presentation informative. Yeah, let us know if you've got any questions. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.